Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to finish the last of the Oracle decks that were on the top shelf of my cabinet. And what it's going to encompass is my independent Oracle decks that aren't like in a specific category, and my mass market Oracle decks that aren't in a specific category. So let's start with, I think, the independents. So we're going to start with this one. This is Postcards from the Liminal Space, and this is out of print. This is by Baccara Wintner, maybe, and Christian Berry. I like this oracle. I don't use it that often. It's just not for any particular reason. I kind of forget that it's in the cupboard, but I like it. She does have a little pamphlet that goes along with it. You know, I almost picked up the Morgan's Tarot off of US Games, which is very similar to this, but I stopped myself because I already have this, and I think they would be too similar, and I don't use this one that often, so I don't think I would use that Morgan's Tarot that often, but I really do like this. I don't mind that it's black and white, and I like the little messages that are on it, and I don't really have that much to say about it because, you know, I don't use it that often, but when I do, it's a fun oracle to use. Another independent oracle, which I talked about this one, I think, in my November musings, is the Sovereign Oracle. For this being such a tiny little deck, I really do love it. I'm not taking all the cards out. It is, I want to say this is 90 cards, but does it say on here? Oh, 93. But I think 3 of them are like a couple spread little cards or whatever in there. So this is super tiny, and on the back of it, it says, this creative process is full of crazy twists and head scratchers, so toss this mighty little deck in a bag and consult whenever and wherever you create. Each week card shares one inspiring word and 3 short phrases and a beautiful image of a crystal stone to help you get back into flow. And what I was using this with is my Angel Aura card, or Angel Aura, geez Louise, let's try to talk today. Angel Aura Oracle cards. God. And pairing it with that, and I would pull this, and then I would do the angel cards in conjunction with the sentences on here. And I like the messages that it gave me. But other than that, I haven't used it for much of anything else because it's really newer to my collection. I would say end of October maybe that I got this one in. This is your Feel Your Chakras Oracle, and I have the mini sweets one also, but I'm only going to show one. This I got off a Kickstarter. This is the very first Kickstarter that I ever backed, but I'm pretty sure that she still has this on her Etsy shop now. She also has, I think, a website. It's Metaphysics Made Easy. Does that sound right? Yeah. By Andy Taylor. I love this one. Let's see how I can do this. I'll do it like this. I've showed, you know, how to incorporate it into some readings. I've used it for clients. It's great to add into relationship readings or any kind of readings. Really, it's all broken down into the 7 chakras, and I really like it. So, and then you have your crown. If anyone else has this, how are you using it? I'd be interested to know. It is super slippery. I will say that. I love it, but man, it flies out of my hands sometimes. My next independent is the Memento Mori, Lenorman, and Oracle deck. But I got frustrated looking at the guidebooks or little guidebook pamphlet for it. So I wrote my own things, keywords on here. I knew what the Lenorman meanings were and everything, but yeah, I wrote my own little things on here, and that's okay. I like it that way. I wish she would have brought back the Oracle of Oddities. I don't know if she's ever bringing that one back that already has like a keyword and everything on the bottom of it. So, and this is primarily, it was primarily bought for like ancestor work, mediumship readings, or anything like that. Although, like I've said before, I don't really use cards during mediumship readings, but I do use them with Ancestor. This is my next one. This is the 1111 Oracle. This I'm just going to show really, really quickly. I have a whole video on it. This is by Mandy Peterson. She has that past life oracle that I would like to get. If you want to know more about this oracle and how I work with it, there's a whole video dedicated to strictly this oracle, and I love it. It's still, you know, new, so I have not used it enough really, but it will end up getting a lot of use in my practice. I know my hand is covering up the images, so why do it? But I have a hard time separating the cards. So that is this one. Like I said, real quick, because I already did a whole big walkthrough on this deck. So this is the deck of character. This deck is its own thing, and I love it. It's its own system. I don't even know if this is still in print, because it did go out of print for a while, and then it came back into print. There's no book. There's no nothing. You get these little cards here that talks about using it. There's 3 categories. There's the tools. Then there's the places or characters. And then places. And I keep them separated. She says you could shuffle them together. This is by, who is this by? Hannah Norowski, I think. It's on deckofcharacter.com. Is that correct? Yeah, the deckofcharacter.com. So you could check that out to see if it's still available. There's a whole thing on the website that explains, you know, how you could use it. So on her website, she explains different ways. She has different spreads and that to use the cards. I don't understand really, or at least I don't remember the purpose of the tools and the places. I haven't used this deck in a while, but you kind of can, how I was using it is kind of making it out like a Lenormand reading. You could do like the box if you wanted to, put maybe your character in the middle, and then, you know, pull your tools and places around it. And when it's places, it's not like it's going to happen at a circus. So I don't want that to be thought of, but like, you know, think of the energy that you get in a circus. It's exciting, it's thrilling, or circus can mean, you know, drama or that kind of thing, depending on which lens you look at it through. So, you know, you could say you've got the explorer, your tool is your cauldron, but the place is the circus. So maybe you're exploring your magic right now, but things aren't working out like they you thought they would, because the energy is too hyped and chaotic, or something along those lines. Does that make sense to you? you know, you got an egg and a mother. So that's kind of a double birthing energy to me, because she has, like I said, very brief meanings. I wrote the meanings down somewhere. I don't know where that piece of paper is that I wrote the meanings down. But the plateau, that could be like a barren type area. It's like flat. There's nothing happening on it. So maybe what you're trying so hard to birth isn't going to come to fruition, or isn't going to yield what you want it to yield, with this plateau energy there. That kind of, you could read it like that. Ghost of the past could be, you know, bringing up painful hurts for you again and causing chaos in your life with this tornado energy. So I really do like this deck, because I read it more in a straight forward manner like Lenorman, and it works really well for me that way. So that's why I kind of keep everything separated out when I use it. But I really do love it. I haven't used it in a while. So like I said, I don't know if it's back in print. She had said that she was going to do another print run of it, but I don't know whatever came of that. My next independent deck is the Southern Gothic Oracle by Stacey Williams. I just got this in this year. Matter of fact, just a couple months ago, and I just ordered the Haunts pack. Wait, where is it? Is this it? Yeah. The only thing I have to say about that is, for the amount of money that these 9 cards are, it should have came with a tiny little pamphlet instead of a QR code for the PDF, for the Haunts pack. This did come with its own little pamphlet. I really do like this Oracle. I thought about getting her botanical one, but I'm thinking I might just do a mass market botanical instead. But I do really enjoy this one. I guess it could kind of fit into like a nature, like nature category, but I didn't want to put it there because I feel that it's more than that. So it's kind of in its own, you know, little thing with the other independents that don't really fit anywhere. The cardstock, I don't know why I'm flipping the cards over. It does stick together for me a little bit, maybe because I just don't have it broke in yet. But, and then here is the Haunts. Few cards that came with that. A couple more in the independents, and then that is done. And we'll move on to the few mass market, mass market that I have left. So this is the Reclaim Oracle. I was very hesitant about getting this deck. Matter of fact, I said I wasn't getting it. Wasn't happening, no, because I didn't like the drawings. I don't mind that it's just black and this pinkish color. That doesn't bother me. I didn't like the drawings. And after I got the deck, I think the reason I didn't like the drawings was because this deck really strikes a nerve with you. And I know other people have said it, and I know other people have talked on here about they use this deck very sparingly, maybe just pull one card for it or whatever. And I can absolutely see why, because it's really direct and it will tell you exactly how it is and what you really need to look at. And makes you kind of see things that you are refusing to see in that mirror. I did pull some cards from this deck for me and my husband when we were working through some things. And it's really powerful when you use it in that way. And you're looking at it through that lens as a couple. It's really really powerful. Makes you see things that, like I said, you maybe didn't necessarily want to look at and see, but I do. I love having this now. The last deck, as far as independent goes, isn't made, can't be bought. Let's put it, let's change that. Can't be bought because it's mine. It's my little oracle that I made and put on playing cards and laminated. I wish I wouldn't have laminated it. That's the one thing that I wish I wouldn't have done. I used magazine images. I used calendar, like that's from a calendar, that's from a magazine, that's from a book. I took images from wherever that sparked some sort of feeling in me. And then on some of them, I used like sticker quotes that I already had. And some of them I put my own things on with like a label maker. But I like this. I used it quite a bit when I first made it. It's really thick because I covered the backs of the cards, which wasn't necessary. If I wouldn't have covered the backs of the cards, it wouldn't be this thick. But I did cover the fronts of the cards also so I could put the image on there. But I really do. I like it. And it just shows you that you can make an oracle from anything. I mean, from anything. Calendar, magazines, books, whatever. You can just take the images and make it yourself. And yeah, it's one of my favorites. Now I'm going to show you my mass market oracles that don't really fit a category for me because I use them for anything. So we'll start with this in this bag, and this is the Soul Cards 1 and 2. And I think this one is the Soul Cards 2, and the blue backs is the Soul Cards 1. And these two decks I used to have combined together in one giant deck, and it was too much. It was just too much to deal with. Too big to handle. It was just too much. So I separated them back out, but I keep them in the same bag and just pull the deck that I want to work with. I worked with it pretty steadily for a couple months, like last year. I haven't worked with it much this year because I'm in a year of deck overwhelm and I'm trying to use things that I haven't used before, just so I can get a feel of different things. So I don't feel that I worked with this deck enough to say, you know, to say too much about it. But I did enjoy seeing how the images brought out certain things in my intuition. I can tell you that when I personally used this deck, it brought up a lot of shadow stuff during those 2 months when I was using it. So I need to kind of explore that more. That's not what I bought the decks for, though. I didn't buy them to do shadow work. So maybe it was just the headspace I was in at the time. Another deck. This is brand new. I've only had it in, I don't know, a week or two, maybe. And that is this deck, The River, by Nick Bantock. And I believe these are his photographs. And there's just these short little write-ups in the guidebook because he talks about wanting you not to rely on, I don't even know which way's up. I think it's this way. He talks about not wanting you to rely on guidebooks and wanting you to basically dive into the image and see what you get out of it intuitively. So my whole purpose of this was to, and I don't know how it's going to work for it because I've done nothing because I just got it, was to use it in like a past life fashion, but I don't know how that's going to work. I'll have to report back on that later and see, you know, how that works out. The images are strange. They are strange. I don't know how else to put it. Besides that, they are strange. So I'm curious to see what it does bring out in my intuition. Some of the images I like more than others. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, you know, what comes of this. The next deck is the Story Oracle. This deck I absolutely adore. Even this cruddy cardstock is better than the Brian Froud's cardstock. I love this deck so much. Simple, school-type images is what it puts me in mind of. There is the guidebook with upright and reversed meaning. You're supposed to be using it to like spark your creativity, or I don't know, I think it's to help you write. I don't know what the actual reason is. I use it as an actual oracle deck, and man, does it give great readings. I did my whole December thing with my clients surrounding this deck, and that I set up in a little group for those that get my energy readings, and I loved it. So it's really cheap. I want to say it's under 20 or right at 20. I picked mine up off of Amazon, but it's been really fun to work with. The next one is my Oracle Delphi. I did talk about this in another video, and I really enjoy this deck. I was going to put it in the Divine Feminine, but I wanted to make sure that I stuck it somewhere in the cupboard, that I reached for it more often. And sometimes I don't reach for my Divine Feminine decks all the time. Like I said, I have a whole thing about this. I can't remember if it's a separate video. I think it might have been in a deck haul that I talked about this, because it does have a little bit of the masculine energy in here, but I really like this deck. And this is Luellen, or Blue Angel, and I picked it up, I think, yes, Blue Angel, and I picked it up from Luellen during one of their sales. I am running out of spaces to put things. This is the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. This is another one that I have like in my all-around category. This is another Blue Angel deck. I use this one, I have a string. I use this one with clients and myself, and I enjoy the keywords and phrases on the deck. It's very gentle. I like the, I guess, abstract images, but it is on that matte cardstock that sticks together. This one I gushed about in several, or two maybe, monthly musings, and that is the Oracle of Portals. This is another Blue Angel. I was on a Blue Angel kick for a while. Whoops. Matte cardstock, so it sticks together too. Beautiful portal energy. I really did enjoy using this when I had it out. I was thinking of using this for my personal year ahead readings, because I do the energy for the year, so maybe to see what kind of portal I'll be stepping into for 2024, and then I do an energy for each quarter. So yeah, I'm thinking about using this in that reading. We are coming down to the final few. This is my Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Mosley. I adore this deck. This deck is fantastic in Ancestor readings. Well, what happened here? Yeah, this is seriously a great deck. I love the vintage collage style. I could have 100 decks like this and be happy with every single one of them. It is really, really, really my vibe. So everybody's seen this one too. This is available, I think. I got mine off of Amazon, so it's readily available out there. Next is the Citadel. Love this deck. I have a whole video on working with the Citadel and using the element symbols on the cards and which elements work together and against each other, and pulling that whole aspect into a reading with this deck, and how to, you know, how it may shift the reading a little bit. There's a whole video on it. I don't think it's in a playlist, but yeah, it's just geared towards the Citadel and working with it. And I love this one. I need to get this one out and use it some more. I don't use it enough. And I like the minimal color palette of it. Usually I'm really drawn to, you know, brightly colored decks or vintage style decks, but I really do enjoy this one. This is the Conjure cards by Jake Richard. So this thing is its own system. I thought it was, let me see, does it go this way? I don't know, because I wrote on both sides of it. This is the, based on the Appalachia. Let me check before I quote things wrong. Yes, this is based on the divination system in the Appalachia area. You'd think I'd be able to say that because, like, I'm right on the border of it. And that's why I picked it up. I found it interesting that way. However, I didn't want to use, or learn, a whole entire new system. So I kind of wrote, maybe it goes this way. I kind of wrote my own keywords on here. And I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that. So what I did after I did that and wrote my keywords and everything on here was I was playing around with them one evening. I knew that a spirit was around. I just knew it. The energy got really heavy. Was talking to the spirit through this deck, asking certain questions, and wow, it was pretty powerful. Messages that came through. I knew who the spirit was. It pops open, so I have to keep it rubber banded. But yeah, that's what I used it for. I haven't used it for much more than that. Okay, so these last two, I don't use. No, this one I don't use. The other one I've used a little bit. So this is the Nuit Oracle. Man, so this is another 30. This is my fault. My fault for not researching the deck. Well, exactly what happened with it is let's see, how can I say this? I fell in love with the enthusiasm of a fellow creator who was using this deck. That's what happened. I shouldn't have bought it. But I don't want to say anything really because I haven't used it yet. I might use it and find that I absolutely love it. It's all fairy tale based. So maybe I end up pulling it out and end up falling in love with it because of that. However, I strictly bought it off of the enthusiasm of a fellow creator who was using it. And I have to, I've been better at that, I guess, a little bit. But I never would have picked this deck up. I never would have. And I can't say anything more than that because I got angry with myself for purchasing this deck for that reason, and therefore I have not brought myself to use it. But that's the story behind that. Same thing with this one. The Mists of Avalon Oracle. Fell in love with the enthusiasm of a video where someone was using this deck. Now, granted, I really do like the idea of the Avalon energy and exploring, you know, maybe path working, I guess, these cards, something along those lines. And I do like the keywords that are all around the edge, and that's kind of how I've used it. I've used it to like either path work the energy of it and then, you know, pull cards around the edges, which I did, I think, on a reading, on a mini reading here. I used it like that. So in that aspect, I like it, but I haven't used it more than that. I really need to find a use for it because I do like that aspect of it. And this is a rock pull. And does it say how many cards there are? 36. I gotta stop buying those. I've already said that. Okay, I think that is all of the first shelf of Oracle decks. Yay! So we will be moving on to the second shelf, which is all my tarot. There's not as many tarot on there, so it will be less than 4 installments. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. If any of those decks that I mentioned that I don't get along with very well or haven't used very much and you use them in a certain way, please let me know in the comments below because I'd really like to hear about that. Do you have any of these decks? How do you use them? Share that with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this series, don't forget to subscribe. And thanks so much again for hanging out. And until I see you next time, bye.